This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Wrestling with Tragedy, the Russo's Brand Crack Investigation Unit. It is the Kingpin Angel to my left. We're joined by John Poz, the Silver Tongue Lizard himself, and myself, Piers Austin, the Dad Bod God. Guys, today we are going to be covering off case number 82, Amityville, the Amityville horror story, and everything that goes around into it, and all the conspiracies and everything in between. But guys, before we get into that, Angel, do you want to take care of our lovely sponsors?
Absolutely. Yeah, throw that bad boy up there, man. You know, I need the banner, please. Thank you. Sleeps.com, man. I love sleeps.com, man. It definitely gets me excited when I buy my dirty boxes. But for any sport athlete out there that needs the accessories to protect themselves on the gridiron, basketball court, soccer field, definitely check out sleeps.com, man. They have all your sports needs. Use promo code MWAPOD for a 10% discount. But for me, definitely check out the dirty boxes. They're funny as hell, and they do have sales on discontinued items, dirty boxes, because they always try to push out the old ones to bring in the new ones. Definitely check them out. Sleeps.com, Wrestling with Tragedy approved. Tell them we sent you.
There you go. And John Poz, you want to tell everyone about that health vape?
Yes, if you want a healthy alternative to nicotine, go to Health Vape.
BC.
Yes, go to healthvape.com. Use that promo code MWAPOD, MWAPOD, healthvape.com for all you vapors out there looking for that healthy alternative.
Oh yeah.
I just, I'm gonna buy one. I mean, I have it in my cart here because I don't vape, but I just want to see if it does give me like the energy and stuff like that, which I hear it does, but I just want to experience it for myself,
Piers knows. Piers knows all about it.
Yeah. I'm because I live in Australia, I've got to wait extra long to get it. So
Yeah.
I've had my order in for a while due to COVID and everything like that. So,
but see, the thing about it is that, John, it's the effect on the body. I'm 6'2", he's 4'4". The effect of the energy might hit him stronger than it would hit me. So I want to experience the feeling, because he thinks it's great. Me, I'm like, I feel a little buzz. But him, he'd be like, ooh, chickens.
Oh, yeah. He'll be running around in circles.
Yeah, But, but definitely I'm going to check it out and get one. So, but anyway, Piers, come on, man. I mean, I know it's in America, but I really want to hear your Australian linguistic skills, Kungalingus, about the Amityville horror case.
well, the Amityville horror case, it started where Ronald DeFeo Jr. killed his father, his mother, his two brothers, and his two sisters. And then basically their bodies were all found laying face down in their own beds, which it kind of in a way is a little bit, I don't know, is it symbolic for something to put them in their beds, like laying them to rest sort of thing? Like, it was a very strange thing. Like, I want to know, like, what would cause someone to basically slay their whole family, like their entire immediate family, just slay them in one night.
Well, and then that's where we're going to definitely pop it off, man, because of the situation in regards to his dad, and his mob ties, the way he treated his family, the disrespect that he gave his son, belittling him in front of everybody. That would build up any hostility, any resentment towards your parents. So, I mean, we could start from there. John, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were going to say?
I was going to say, you're probably going to say maybe drug related, but what happens if, who the hell knows, maybe possessed at some point? You know what I mean? Little demonic to kind of do that, in the symbolism of the death and laying them back in the bed after you killed them and facing them, face down. It just seems a little demonic in certain ways.
Yeah, but the story is that allegedly he laid them in bed, but supposedly he shot him in bed. So they assume that they were killed somewhere else. But I never read any article that they found any blood patterns or anything out of the ordinary in the other locations. So it's just a weird situation when they're laying face down, everybody. I know one with one of the sons, I think it was John, that was in a wheelchair, but please correct me if I'm wrong. but everybody was shot in the back face down. And that's weird that nobody heard any type of gunshot. And also the neighbors next door, which were literally like right there, did not hear any sounds of any discharge of firearms.
Well, after they did forensic research, they said that the mother and one of the daughters was awake when they were killed. But
Yeah, I read it. I read as well that after he got shot, that they were still awake. They were still alive when I think it was one of the brothers. They was still breathing, and he it was not an instant kill.
fuck.
So,
But
I mean,
why did he kill the whole family? If you had a problem with the father, though, like, why do you need to kill the whole family? Unless you're just completely nuts, which obviously he was. But like, why the whole family?
well, I mean, Ronald DeFeo Jr., also known as Butch. I mean, like I said, he had issues, man. Like I said, him and his dad there was like oil and water. They just didn't mix right, and they were always arguing. And I think he just wanted to get away from it all. I just think the drugs and the greed for the money and stuff really pushed him over the edge to commit these crimes. I don't think he was in his right state of mind, and there was no reason why he did it. I think he just did it. I mean, he had a reason for his dad, but I just think once the ball was rolling, he was just plucking shots.
Do you think it could have also been like, because obviously, Ronald Jr. was the eldest child, right? So he was
Correct.
23, and I think the next was 18, and then the youngest was, I think, 9 years old.
Yeah.
So do you think maybe he was kind of like the black sheep of the family, and he's like, fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like his dad would just like put him down, like, why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you be more like, you know what I mean? Like, was it maybe out of that, and it sort of got built up, and maybe like the dad beat him down? And
no, because the thing is that I think he was treated. I don't know how he treated the little boys, but I know he was treating the daughter like shit too. So I don't think there was no like, why can't you be like your sister, if he was treating her like shit, unless he was belittling him and just said regardless, just to get under his skin. Oh, you're a fucking loser. Why can't you be like your sister? I mean, again, we don't know, man, because like I said, there's a lot of criminal activities in Ronald Sr.'s life, because they were mob connected. They even thought it was a mob hit, because that's what John Jr. went to take. They thought it was a mob hit, and he was like kind of pushing that way too until he confessed.
Well, they kind of, because when they took him to the police station, because he insinuated that it was done by a mob hitman. I got the guy's name, Louis something.
Louis Fingers. I can't see anything, so don't make me read it. Nothing.
No, so he was saying, so he Louis Fellini. So he insinuated that it was a hit made by Louis Fellini. But after he was there for a while, his story wasn't consistent, and they started to see holes with what Ronald Jr. was saying.
Man.
So, also, Louis Fellini, he also had an alibi, which had him in a different state at the time of the kills as well.
Dude, I love paninis, man, especially when you just make it crunchy.
That's panini, you dickhead.
Oh, never mind.
Come on, Angel. You know better than that. But
Jesus, man, professional podcaster, Angel.
The whole thing to me, though, like, okay, kill somebody, that's one thing. But like to kill your own family, I mean, that's some deep rooted shit going on. Not even you saying like with the father, but I mean, there's like some sort of I don't know, something else at play there.
Hatred,
yeah,
right?
yeah, real hate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, man. I mean, I'm not defending Butch, but I mean, not because of the killing, but people snap, man, especially if your parents are treating you. I mean, I'm not talking like shit. I'm not talking like, yelling at you, but there was some physical abuse. They almost went to blows and many occasions in regards to, his dad just kind of like belittling him and just pushing him over the edge. And especially with him doing drugs, I think that was just the milk on top of the cornflakes that just made him go crazy, But he just said he said he was possessed. He said that he had demons in him and that he was not in his right state of mind. And I think that's what the attorney was trying to prove, that he was insane.
You got to be, right? I mean, you're going to do that. You're going to kill the whole family and ritualistic and everything else. I mean, you got to be insane.
Yeah, but the problem is that the police reports even said that not even police reports, that they thought there was like two gunmen gun people in the house because of the way things transpired. It just didn't make sense.
Did his sister help him though? That's the question.
That's one of the stories, that his sister was involved, that she was the mastermind and everything. And
But then why would he clip her at the end?
The thing was, she was if I remember correctly, one of the things I read is that she was mentioning it to him. I can't deal with this motherfucker. I got to get away from here. We need to take care of him. And Butch was the one like, nah, we shouldn't do it. Some bullshit thing like that. And then when he came home, that's when he started noticing that everybody was murked. And then the reason why he had gun residue on him is because when he went to the sister's room, she was sitting in there with the rifle in her possession, and he wrestled it away from her and he shot her.
Interesting.
But the interesting part is, if she got shot unless he pushed her into some form or fashion where she ended up belly down back, then he shot her in the back as well. So, but the thing the police is that they said they found gunpowder residues on her hands and in front of her nightgown. So that was just like, was she really part of it, or the instigator? And then that's what transpired.
But then why wouldn't have he admitted that from the get-go?
That's the thing, man. Butch after the incident happened, he ran to the nearest bar, which was like a block away. I forgot the name of it, but he went to the bar, ran in and said, "Hey, oh my God, my family was killed." And that's when the police showed up, because there was a cop not that far off. So maybe less than 2 minutes from the location when they dispatched the police officer, and they showed up on scene. So then that's when he was like, "Oh, my family got killed." And that's when they knew about Butch Sr. They knew that he was connected with the mob. And that's when they started thinking it was a mob-related hit.
But the only thing is, like we talk about, they said it was a mob-related hit. The mafia's, rules, from my understanding, was that they wouldn't kill women and children. If they were going to have a problem with, Ronald Sr., who, I couldn't understand if he was connected or not. I know that there was an uncle who was in the DeFeo crime family who was a capo. But, if they were going to go and take out Ronald Sr., they wouldn't do it where his children and wife would be present, though, would they?
Yeah, but during
that level.
But at that time, I mean, you're just thinking like as a cop, because if you know Butch Sr. and he's working at that car dealership, working for that organization, the first thing that's going to come to your head is a mob. It was a mob hit. They're not going to have the manual of the Costa Nostra rules and regulations of what should and shouldn't be done in a hit. So I don't think at that moment they were like, "Oh, it can't be a mob hit because the family."
Right, let's go to the rules and handbook, and the guy, no, they can't do that.
Section 2, paragraph 4 states, but
this ain't the Kansas Police Department. You know what I mean? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I don't take offense. I'm not really from Kansas, so I don't care. But yeah, that's like I said, that was also, it's like they're just trying to put the pieces together, what they concluded, what they thought. So that's why they thought it was a mob hit, because of his Ron Sr.'s relationship with other people.
Do you believe in demons and ghosts and all that stuff, though, Angel? Do you believe in that kind of stuff, that he was possessed?
Dude, I don't believe. Okay, the problem is I don't believe it. I can't say I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in UFOs, until I see the shit, and then but it has to be something like. Okay, let me tell you a story. I know we were going off track here, but when we were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, wrestling, we were staying at the Belmont Hotel, and we were doing that show. That's the one I showed you, Piers, the one I got stabbed in the butt by New Jack. Yeah. That's the Belmont Hotel. And we asked the people if the place was haunted. And make a long story short, oh yeah, a caretaker died. He's supposed to haunt the whatever. So me, Rob Feinstein, all of us went upstairs, which was gated off for the public. So we went, and we were in the hallway, and shit did happen. But of course, it was stuff like the door closed, like the door slammed. And at the end of the hallway, it was weird, but there was an elevator at the end of the hallway that we couldn't see, right? So when we were walking down the hallway in the dark, we were just like, man, fuck this. This ain't no fucking ghost in this motherfucker. This is bullshit. And then you fucking see the light shine into the hallway. Like you can see the doors, the shadow. And then you see the shit close. And we're like, what the fuck? And then the lights turn on. And we're like, what the fuck? So when we get to the end, there's an elevator door and there's another door, but there was a chain that had a lock on it that you couldn't open the door. It had that little rod that you remember in high school, you had that rod to open the door. It was locked. So then my dumbass goes, and I see a light switch and I go, click, click. And I go, Feinstein, is there a fucking light switch down there? And he goes, no. Click, 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 click. And I'm like, nah, it can't be. But see, those type of things, you could try to say, man, it was the wind. It was a short in the circuit. Now, if, God forbid, we were walking down the hallway and I go, do you see that fucking Confederate soldier holding that fucking rifle, whistling Dixie at us? That's hard to explain. And that's when I'll start believing, and stuff. So do I believe in ghosts? No, but I'm not against it, because then, there's life after death, and I will be fucking haunting the shit out of Piers if I fucking drop dead. Did you see that spook in my room? but that's the thing. I kind of believe, but I don't believe because I haven't experienced it like firsthand to like, yeah, I believe in it. Do you?
Yes, a little bit. I don't think
you have an experience?
It's weird. My friend's old house when I was younger, his mom used to always say it was like haunted by ghosts and stuff. And it was weird. The dog would be like paying attention to a room that nobody's in, and he'd be like sitting there, putting his paw up, like all this other stuff, like interacting with no one. So my friend's mom used to be like, oh, yeah, there's a ghost in the house, blah, blah, blah. The dog always plays with the ghost. The water would turn on. You'd find change in like random spots. I'm like, I didn't believe it, but sometimes you feel like the hair on your neck when you get to the house. Like weird stuff. So like, I didn't think so. But like then my dad would go to the house and he like sometimes he would sense stuff. He's like something weird's going on at that house there. And supposedly like years and years ago, it was like some battlefield or something. So like I don't know if like we're like thinking too much, but somebody died there at one point and they never left is like the story. But it was weird, like all this weird stuff happened. And they say, animals always kind of pay attention to ghosts and things like that. So it was weird. It's like the dog was interacting with no one. So then like I kind of had a weird feeling. I was like, okay, he's maybe interacting with like a ghost that we don't see that he sees or senses or something. It was really weird. It was strange.
Yeah. I'll tell you one story that my ex-wife told me. I believe her because I was like, man, it's why would she lie to me? But I laugh at her like, nah, that shit didn't happen. So she's from Duluth, Minnesota. And her good friend lived in Copper Harbor, Michigan. And she went up there to stay with her grandmother. So she went to hang out with her friend who had an old house that was back in the 1700s, which had slave quarters. Of course, they turned it into something else, but they were actual slave quarters. So they were hanging out in a room, all the girls, typical girls giggling and shit. So she said, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So she went to the bathroom downstairs. And when she closed the door to the bathroom, it was not one of those bathrooms where you could lock. It was like one of those little latches, little hook. So she puts the hook in and she goes to the bathroom. She said that she was sitting there and she heard, and the stairs was over her head because she had to go down the stairs and go around the corner to go in the bathroom under the stairs. She could literally hear somebody walking down the stairs because you hear that creak, creak, creak. And she's like, what the fuck? Looking up. And you could hear the person come around the corner. And then you could hear the door go. It's not like one of those horror movies. It was like click, 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 because it could be the wind. And it was just kept pulling, but lightly. And she's like, hey, guys, I'm in here. Let me finish. And then it just kept moving. And then she's like, wiped real quick, put her pants on. And as it's fucking like moving and moving, she reaches for the latch to open it up. As it's moving. And she pulls the latch off and she opens the door. Nobody's there. So I'm like, you're full of shit. And she goes, no, I'm serious. I'm not lying to you. That really happened. So Big old
Cocaine's a
slave
hell of
came
a
down
drug.
like, you fucking fuck with me, white man. I want my
Right.
reparations.
You don't see it, but you sense it almost. Like, yeah, you almost
Yeah, but I
something's going
believe
on
her.
there. Yeah.
I believe the story, but I still like, I have to experience it. I don't believe it until it happens to me. So that was it. But anyway, back to the DeFeos about the spirits and stuff that took over Ronnie, supposedly, allegedly. But
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
that's
it was.
bullshit.
You think it's bullshit?
Excuse, maybe?
I mean, like that's some like old school, like you're a witch, let's burn you at a stake type of shit. Like, I don't believe that sort of shit is even remotely possible. It's high on drugs, schizophrenic episode. Yeah, that's something more like it. Mental health,
Heroin.
absolutely. There's many different factors. Drunk, alcohol, intoxicated, whatever level it could be. But to be say he was possessed by a demon, that's a little bit far fetched.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying I believe him. I'm just saying, like, because of the story and how this all transpired and how this what led to the story of the Amityville Horror. It's a fucking great story. Is it true? I doubt it because there's people still living at that house to this day, and they have not experienced anything paranormal at that location. Would I fucking stay in a house that fucking this massive murder happened? I don't know. I mean, but then I'd be reluctant to go downstairs in the middle of the night to get a glass of water. I'll be like, as soon as I'm done, I'm in bed. I'm in bed. I'll have my picture there. I'll have a bucket by the bed so I could pee. I have a plastic bag with a Ziploc tie on it, so if I take a shit, I could just close it up and just keep the stench in there, and then just throw it out the next morning. But it's an interesting.
Why
story.
not just stay at a hotel then, Angel?
Yeah, come on.
Nice shout, brother.
But I mean, like I said, I mean, it's just interesting, man. It's just interesting how Ronnie was just saying that something took over him, just like the son of Sam said that he got took over by Sam, and it told him to do what needed to be done to his family. And that happened on November 13th of 1974. I was born in 72, so I was living in New York when this happened. So of course I don't remember, but my mom remembered that thing. It was all over the news.
It's a crazy term of events that would happen, that a whole family would get wiped out. But even like this guy, like he Ronald Jr., he only died in
Not that long ago.
March this year.
But they say mysteriously. I thought he had cancer, but they said he died mysteriously. And I'm like,
What does it
They
mean
always-
mysteriously? Like
I never looked at. I didn't follow up on it.
he got killed in jail. In other words,
like Whitey Bulger when he got beat the fuck in the jail cell. But I mean, he was there since the 70s, man. He was he died in yeah. I mean, he was there for
50 years ago. Yeah.
50 years ago, and now that something happened to him again. I mean, I just think that I can't understand why they say mysterious. I need to know what happened. Did he hang himself? Did they find him in a
it doesn't say that it's mysterious. It just says it hasn't
unexplained.
been determined.
Yeah, but it's been that long and they still can't determine how he died. Heart
I
attack.
mean, could there be a death report? Like, I'm not too sure.
You know what? I'm gonna look it up, see if there's something I can find while you guys talk about it a little bit.
I think the most interesting part of the story is, okay, he did all these murders and stuff, but it's what happens afterwards. It's like, okay, this guy's nuts. He goes to jail, kills his whole family, but then they still have the house. They're going to sell the house, but they're going to sell it for super cheap because, $80,000, which is like insanely cheap for this big, nice house,
It's
because
fucking
nobody
nice.
wants to live there because of the murders.
But do the comparison from the original house to the house now and see the difference. They changed the windows and and to take away
From it looking like eyes.
Yeah, I mean, because they were just tired of people coming to the house. And I mean, there was a mob. It was always a mob there just looking at the murder house.
But it's because like afterwards, like the murders that happened in 1974, then the house was bought by the Lutzes. And they were the ones who experienced the paranormal activity, correct?
they knew, right? Did they know what happened in the house when they bought it? Did they know that's why the house was so cheap?
Yeah, the realtor told them about the murders, but the price was so cheap. Plus, the caveat was that the furniture was. They even bought the furniture that was still there because the police, after they did their investigation, there was still clothes from the crime scene in the house. There was still. They even left the ammunition in Ronnie's room on the top shelf. There was still ammunition from the gun that he used, which I still don't understand. They didn't take it into evidence, but they still even left that in the fucking house. So they got basically everything from the residents.
It's pretty shoddy police work there.
No, it's New York. What you saying? Jersey ain't perfect either.
I mean, do you think it was because
yeah.
it was such an open and shut case they didn't need all the extra evidence?
Yeah, but if you're selling,
You got to take it in though.
you got to take all that shit out, man. All the clothes, get rid of it. Take it to the fucking Goodwill, or but regardless of the fact, clothes and furniture, who gives a shit about that? But leaving ammunition. Because the kids found it when they finally moved in and they were all settled in. It was the kids that found the ammunition, and because they were playing with the rounds.
But one of the things that I found really chilling that DeFeo told detectives was once I started, I couldn't stop. It just happened so fast. He then admitted to showering and changing clothes and giving locations of where the firearm were, the stained clothing and stuff like that. So where all the evidence was. So he basically gave all this information up.
Yeah.
Do you think that the murder itself could have been an act of rage? And do you think that afterwards, maybe he had some form of extreme bipolar or extreme mental health issue where have these extreme, outbursts and then have this extreme remorse straight after?
You got to be pretty cold blooded though, no? I mean, to do that, I mean, that's crazy because it's like you snapped and then all of a sudden, I'm going to go take a shower and get changed and go down to the bar. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
See, and I'm always finding something interesting because the thing is that according to the New York Times report on November 1974, DeFeo Jr. Butch, apparently he put a heavy dosage of barbiturates and he slipped the drug into their dinner. So that's why they were face down and they didn't hear shit if they were doped up. But again, I don't know if the police found any type of trace of any narcotics in their system. But he did say that he gave them barbiturates.
He admitted to that, but the toxology reports all came back clean that that none of them were drugged.
And then that's the thing. I don't know. I'm just
reading. But the habituates though that he gave him, that he said that he gave him, what is that? Is that just a term for a sedative?
It's just a sedative. Barbiturates. There's all types of barbiturates. It just depends what you give them. But regardless if it was just a mild barbiturate or you still need to, they will still find something in their system. But if you say they didn't find anything, then of course he was lying. But then again, it goes back to square one. How come nobody woke up when the shots were fired?
But let me ask you this: could he have given him something that wouldn't come up on a drug test or in a toxology?
Butch don't look like a fucking very smart.
Scientist.
Yeah, like a smart guy to be like, oh yeah, if I did this, you know what I mean? I don't think he's. I'm not saying he's stupid, but I don't think he thought that far ahead. Don't you think, John? I mean, if you look at him.
I wouldn't imagine that he's giving them some sort of sedative or something killing them, but I don't know. The whole case is just crazy to me. And then the fact that the Lutz want to move in there is even crazy. I wouldn't want to live there. It's crazy. I know $80,000. You look at that house now. I'm sure if you put it on Zillow now, it's probably $1 million house. But back then $80,000 is still pretty damn cheap. But I still wouldn't want to live there.
Well, the Lutzes lasted after only 28 days, and they left their house, and claiming to have been terrorized by paranormal, activity while living there. And the event served as a historical basis, for the 1977 novel, The Amityville Horror.
And also, just to let you know, John, I did look it up. According to Zillow, the house sold for $605,000 in February of 2017. So,
wow. And now with today's market, everything is so high. I'm sure it's even more. Wow.
Especially in Long Island.
Yeah. Yep.
But then
nice.
also, wouldn't it be kind of like an historical landmark? Would it come under that?
No, because it's not that old. An historical landmark. I mean, you could try to push it, but I don't think it's an historical landmark. Like, yeah, I think it has to be like 1800s. It has to be a certain time frame to be considered. It's almost like a classic car. There has to be so many years past to be considered an antique vehicle. And shit, a Mitsubishi 1983 is supposedly a fucking classic car, but nobody wants it, because to me, classic cars are like 1979, Monte Carlo, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you believe the Lutz of like what was going on in the house, the paranormal activity, him waking up and his wife is levitating, the kids are levitating. There's some like demon pig, in the
Oh,
house in the
Jody, the
windows.
pig called Jody.
Yeah, like are you buying that? Did that really happen? Because they said like Lutz always woke up around the same time of the murders all the time. He was kind of making a connection to the murders, either subconsciously or consciously. But then he was starting to say, although they were levitating, and that there was people in the house, and they were getting woken up, and they're being told to get out, and there's no one in the house, but somebody's telling them to get out.
Oh, the
Weird.
priest, the priest that did the blessing in
Yeah.
the house, and he saw fucking
Yep.
flies in the window, and then he heard the
Yep.
voice, and he got slapped. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some articles that he said that, and the thing is that, I don't know, man. I mean, that situation, it's just, again, it's just. Do I believe it? I just think, I know for a fact that I was reading some stories that the attorney was involved, and they said they had a recording of him, that all of them collaborating to tell this lie. That it never really happened. They built off the story of the DeFeos, and then the house is haunted and all that stuff was fabricated, and that's why they went with the book, because the book would skyrocket it when it went into movies as well.
Look, my deal is, my thought around it is, I should say, I think the Lutzes, if they believe, or they believed in that stuff, they're going to imagine that stuff. And I think that the human imagination can play a lot of like weird tricks on you. And I think if you believe in that sort of stuff, you believe in ghosts and supernatural stuff, I think
Okay.
you'll see it. Like,
Yeah,
to me, like, I don't believe. So, you know what I mean? Like, a windy night with something banging on a tree, banging on my window is just going to be that to me. It's not going to be anything more supernatural. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe. So I'm probably never going to see anything like that. Whereas I think these people probably were very religious, God-fearing people.
Okay, but let's go with the situation where they finally had the New York City news reporters at the residence with a bunch of mediums, and also Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are very known psychics and demonologists, who's also based off the movie The Conjuring and stuff like that, were at the residence. And they said, I mean, again, I don't, psyche, it's whatever. If they have a feeling, that's great. But do I believe it? I don't know. Don't experience
It's all a work. It's all a work.
It's all a work. It's all an angle. But the thing is that when they filmed, when the camera was upstairs and they were taking pictures of the whole type of the residence, they did catch a picture of this child that fit the image of John DeFeo.
Yeah, that's freaky.
His son, which this is the part where you put up the picture, Piers. And
oh yeah.
that was strange, because, and I forgot the son's name. Is it John or is it Jason? I can't remember. That's the Lutz family, not the Lutz family, the DeFeo family, and that's the picture. Yeah, it was John DeFeo.
John. Yep.
And then and that's the little boy looking through the door frame. The boy looks like the same as the picture to the right. I mean, but they also said
completely different.
The nose, the hair, it looks the same to me. That's a painting, dude. I could show you some 18th century photos of Queen Elizabeth, and you see the real thing, and you'd be like, this bitch is horrible. I mean, it's just an oil painting. But I mean, regardless, if you take away the oil painting, I mean, similarities are very, very close. Don't you think, John?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
it's similar.
Eerily similar. Yeah, a little freaky.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I'm not saying that's what it is. It could have been a damn photographer or somebody upstairs doing something, and somebody took a picture and they didn't realize it. But it's kind of weird that they had this picture, and they did say nobody was upstairs. So again, Do I believe it? I don't know. It looks cool. Good story.
Could they just got a boy that looked a little bit similar
There
to
was
him? Like
they
I
said it
don't
was
see any similarities.
the
And then
only
so like it's a work. That's got
yeah,
to be
but
a
the only
work.
thing again, I'm not saying it's a work or not a work. It doesn't matter. But the guy who was
No,
there,
no.
the news reporter, the guy he's a credible news reporter, almost like a Walter Cronkite type of dude from New York City. He said, "Look, there was no kids in the house. Nobody was upstairs because everyone was downstairs, and they had this picture. Do I believe it? Fuck no, I don't know. Like I said, it could be a fucking work for all I know. But damn, every fucking an angle's an angle. If you have a good angle, you're like, man, even though it's a fucking work, that shit was it's believable.
Yeah. No. Fair call. Yeah.
It's all an illusion, man. It's all about special effects, and if they did a good angle, then I'm just like, man, that's it makes me believe a little bit like, yeah, that's interesting. But like I said, it's the same thing with like the JFK situation. You could connect the dots and make it believable. And when you watch fucking Oliver Stone's fucking JFK and you sit there and you go, wow, I could see that happening. I won't let it slip by him, but it's weird,
There's a lot of stuff out there. You're like, wait a second, what the hell? Especially when the FBI years later they start opening up their like investigations, and you start reading some stuff. You're like, wait a second, there's more to this than
Meets
or
the
in your
eye.
mind. You're more of this meets the eye, but you can almost in your mind like twist it into certain directions. Like, holy shit, wait, what? This happened, that happened. Very weird. But with this ghost thing, it's like, okay, that does look like the boy. That's a little freaky. Why is that picture there? Like, how did that happen? It just adds a little bit of intrigue to it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives, I don't know, like people love a good ghost story and they love
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Like I said,
Think
I
about it
know,
like this.
I don't know, I don't believe in ghosts. So
I'm gonna give
there's no matter what you can tell me that no one was in the house and all that sort of stuff. I'm like you, Angel, unless okay, if I see it with my own two eyes, then fair enough. But if till then, I call bullshit.
Yeah, but I mean, and I agree. But think about it like this. And John lives in Jersey, the Jersey Devil. If you go into that area in the neck of the woods and you're walking in there, you're gonna be like, yo, this better not be legit. Because Jersey has some fucking funky ass stories that's like, you're like, this fucking shakes my boot. Like the bridges and the highway. I forgot the highway in Jersey. It's by Paramus. When you drive in and the truck follows you with the lights, and then it follows you a certain amount of miles and it disappears. Like shit like that, man. You'd be like, your mind plays tricks on you, but then you still be nervous. Like, man, please don't let this be legit. I do not want to see no Jersey Devil coming out the bushes, and I'd be like, oh, I guess I was right.
I wonder how much is it with the Lutz? Like, do the Lutz family actually believe in that stuff, or are they playing into everybody else's beliefs and like, hey, we can probably make some money off of this horrific
I think they believe.
incident that
Yeah,
happened?
I believe they believed in the dollar signs and what their attorney told them that they can make millions of dollars, and I think they really worked the angle. And again, everybody's going to say, "Fuck it, let's work it, man." If you think I could get $800,000, then you can, especially in 1977, 79, $800,000 is a lot of money. Even
140 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
You think the priest
depends.
is in on it? Like, he's like gonna corroborate the story
That's
there?
yeah, like I said, so many things in there that like, why would a priest lie?
Here's the donation to the church, Father.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just
Right.
depends. Like I said, there's so many holes in it, and like I said, it was a priest in on it, or did he really see something? It could have been the fucking furnace going. "Rrr," he's kicking in, and he's like, I heard somebody say, "Get out."
I mean, I think that it was definitely it's definitely that the Lutzes were working an angle, and I think that you look at it like how quickly that they turned it into a book. Like the murders was 74, 77 it was a book, 79 it was a movie based around not even about the murder, but about the supernatural fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Like, I think it was just a way to sell fucking movie tickets and a way to sell books. And that's just the way I look at it. Like, the murders were a tragic fucking thing to happen. Like, absolutely. But I think people fucking then decided to take advantage and monetize on the death of 6 people.
Yeah, and just to let you know, I looked up everything about Ronald DeFeo Jr. and died on March 12th of 2021, but every article says, death undetermined.
He
But
died
that's
of COVID. He was COVID.
probably COVID related. But but that's the thing. That's just the weirdest thing. Death undetermined. They take, like official cause death, but it's just weird because all these news cases of people getting killed and getting strangled, like the girl, I forgot her name. They 3 days later, she died of strangulation.
Gabby Petito.
Yeah, Gabby Petito. And again, I feel bad for the family, but I'm just saying the fucking forensics people figured out, this is how she died 3 days later. Boom. This guy is March 21st of 2021 and still not determined. That's when people start saying conspiracy,
Right.
conspiracy, So I
You
don't
got to
know.
leave it mysterious because of the mysterious ways of him killing his whole family. And you know what I mean? I guess you got to keep up with the ghost stories.
Yeah, I mean, serves him right. I mean, like I said, I have no pity for him. He killed his family. He, like Rocky, if he dies, he dies. It is what it is. But I just want to know, like, if they keep it like that, like, mysterious death is just, like I said, it's just going to feed into the, like our last episode, the conspiracy of Brenda Lee, like, he died mysteriously and it had to be with the ghost of the Amityville horror case and stuff like that. I don't know.
Do you think the people that live in that house today, are they fully aware? Because, they changed the street name and they changed.
Hell
you
yeah.
think they're aware? Okay.
Hell,
Would they still have to be obligated to tell them that murder had took place like 40 something years before?
You have to tell people from an apartment, even in an apartment, you have to tell them, disclose everything that happened in that house. Oh yeah, a person died here, a person committed suicide here, a person got shot here. You have to tell them. It's against the law to not disclose, those type of, because if you get the sale and they sell it, then they find out that you lied to them. It's like selling a lemon car, You got to show them the Carfax, man. Show them everything that happened in that house. Because it could come back and bite you in the ass legally. Now I don't know about how it is in Australia. Your laws are different, so they might be like, we don't have to tell them shit.
Do you think that the ghosts might possibly still be in the house 40, 50 years later?
I doubt it, man. I don't believe it. Like I said, there's people been living there. They've been saying like there's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing ooga booga thing. And I seen that house on Zillow, and it looks like a really beautiful house on the inside. Right. And they say they never saw anything, and nothing has ever transpired. I mean, they're probably the dicks now. They're like, hey, where you live at? Hey, don't you living in the Amityville Horror House? I mean, they will always be known as the Amityville Horror House. So now, like, hey, can I come over? You know what I mean? No, man.
But do you think if you own the house, you would just have it set up and have as a museum and have people come through it and just you wouldn't even live in it?
You'd have it $20 a head during Halloween.
You would try and have it set up as 1974, as you know what I mean?
Right.
It just depends, man. It depends on the people. Depends on what they want to do with it. I mean, if you go to fucking Massachusetts, the people who bought the fucking Lizzie boarding house turned it into a bed and breakfast and kept it as the original, the way it was back in that time, and they're making a killing, and it's fucking haunted. The fucking Velisca house in fucking it was in Ohio or some shit, the axe murder house, and they fucking kept it restored the same way, and they fucking have people staying there and fucking ghost tours. It just depends on what people want to do with the house. And I bet you, and I think people who live in the neighborhood don't want that fucking tourist attraction of all these people coming to the location. So there's probably those things are on the table. They're probably protesting shit. Like, we don't want this shit in our neighborhood, and petition and all that shit. Could be a lot involved.
All these goth kids rocking up, just want to go through the Amityville Horror house, bro.
Did the lawyer ever admit that they kind of conjured up this story, for financial gain?
As far as I read, no. But the Lutzes did say they had a recording of the incident happening, of their meetings and their conversations. So I don't think the lawyer disclosed anything. But it doesn't matter anymore, because no matter if it was a lie or if it's true, people now believe it's true. And they're always going to believe the Amityville Horror House is haunted. And that's what Amityville is known. And Amityville is a nice suburban town. And when you go there, it's very historical, very, very, I think it was in the movie Jaws too, the town of Amityville. And, but anyway, but still, it's just a nice town, and it just has that one claim, not claim to fame, but you know what I mean. That's what they're known for.
What's crazy is my daughter's name is Amity, and every time someone hears her name, they go, like Amityville Horror, and I'm like, no, not at
Well,
all. But
well, it's spelled the same
yeah, like that's
without the
the
Ville.
straight away that the people would go to is like they ask, oh, like Amityville Horror.
Did you name her after Amityville Horror?
No, he named after a band or something like that. You said.
No. Like my wife liked the name, and I was like, yeah, cool.
But didn't you throw out a name? You said it was an album or something. You just said it yesterday.
Yeah, no, I did. It was a band, but it was just a sort of thing that I could sort of throw at my missus. So
You sound like Russo there for a second. Album.
Album.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, do I believe, like I said, if I stayed there and I see something, then, I'm just saying, show me the Carfax, man. I mean, if I'm going to see it and I say, yo, this is what I saw, I believe it. But until then, to me, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit.
So there's no ooze coming out of the walls and the keyholes and all the other stuff that they were saying? That's not true?
Nah, man. Unless I'm sitting on the toilet and I feel like a ghostly hand just stroking my balls. Like, what the?
Who you gonna call?
Yeah, then I'll believe. But until then, man. But you know what? Your mind will fuck with you. I bet you, if you stay there because that's what you want to happen, you'll think you start seeing shit. Or even if you did see shit, you'll still be like, nah, that's just my fucking head fucking with me.
So you know what I would do if I was staying in a place like that? I'd just drink myself till I passed out. And then just like, don't worry about it.
No, I could see you getting scared and run into the little mouse hole in the wall, like, oh, and just hide in there,
I could see that.
Nah. I don't play games. I wouldn't even. It wouldn't even faze me.
You never know, man. You never know. And that's the thing. You never know. Like, people are like, hey, look at that beautiful kitty. And it's a fucking mountain. Like, oh, kitty. And then it gets torn up. I don't think he's going to harm me. You never know, man. You might see something and be a believer. You might say, this is bullshit. And it's bullshit. But until then, man, the only people that know the truth is Ron DeFeo Jr. He's dead. Fucking the Lutz family. I think they both died. And
they got kids.
The kids, they just, I don't know if they disappeared or, I mean, they're probably low key as it is now. But I know the mom died of cancer. I know that. She had like some type of emphysema type of shit because I saw a documentary years ago. She was on tubes. So she's dead as a doornail.
It is a great story, though.
Oh, it is an awesome
true
story.
or not true, but it's a great story.
Yeah, I mean, it made for a great book and a great movie.
Fuck yeah.
They're still copying the movie, still remaking it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many fucking versions of that movie. I mean, you could ride that wave until the end of time. I wonder who flipped the bill for the burial for the DeFeos. I mean, because there was 6 coffins.
Life insurance.
I don't know. I'm just curious. I mean,
was there even funerals? Did they just come and like dispose of the bodies?
No, I'm looking at photos of them at the church, and there's a roll of coffins of pallbearers carrying the coffin to the front of the altar with the priest.
Well, they had the family, like other siblings and stuff like that.
No, I'll show you. Instead of me sending you a thing.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying like they had
there's a lot of people.
But I'm saying like they had a big family, like they were an Italian family.
Yeah, the fucking mobsters. Yeah, we gotta take care of them. We gotta take care of our own. It was like 300 people there, and I mean, it doesn't matter. At least they got a nice funeral. It's tragic how they died, but I mean, like I said, nobody's gonna know the true story, and the only people that know are dead, and that's all you can do.
Well, that's it, guys. I think it's time to wrap up the episode. I think we've covered it off. It's a very interesting story. If you believe into supernatural, then you're definitely going to go into those sort of superstitions of what the Lutz family sort of claimed to have been. But, it sort of all came out that it was all sort of bullshit. A very bad,
like everything else in life, was a bit of
absolutely amazing work, but definitely doesn't take away from the dark tragedy that happened where 6 people lost their lives. Back in 1974.
Oh yeah, I fucking agree 100%. It's still sad. It's still a tragedy, but it's a great story to build a good horror movie. And I kind of pop for it a little bit because I love Amityville and because of the story. And I bet you I would have never knew Amityville was on the map if this never happened. You know, like Sleepy Hollow. I never knew Sleepy Hollow existed, only in the movies. And then when I went to the town, I'm like, holy shit, this town was a true town. Washington Irving lived here. But little did I know it was a nice dude. You been to Sleepy Hollow, John?
No, never.
It's fucking nice, man.
Where's it near?
It's in
Like, what
Westchester.
state?
It's by Terrytown in Westchester. It's a rich, I mean, it's rich, man. When you go there, you'll be like, this is money. You know, you cannot visually compare apples and oranges to the horror story in this fucking town, but it is the town that happened back then. So it's pretty cool. You never need to check it out, John, if you get a chance to head up there. You know. Yeah. But anyway, let's bring up those sponsors, baby.
All right, take it away.
Oh man, Sleeves.com, man, one of the best companies out there that I like to get my dirty boxes and any athletic wear I need to help me in the pro wrestling ring. You know, they definitely help me out in the ring to keep me safe. So any athlete out there that need the accessories to protect themselves from the soccer field to the football field, man, or the lacrosse field, go to Sleeves.com, use promo code MWAPOD for 10% off. And like I said, definitely check out those dirty boxes. To me, that's even worth the view to go there.
And Mr. Pause, take it away.
Healthvape.com. If you want a healthy alternative to nicotine, they got the Restore, the Vital, the Energy, and the Boost. Use that code MWAPOD, MWAPOD, healthvape.com for all your vaping needs.
Oh, yeah. There you go, guys. And thank you very much for tuning in. You can catch us at patreon.com/RussoTWC, russosbrand.com. We are the Russo's Brand Crack Investigation Unit. We go over any case that we want to get our hands on. We dive deep into it. We're available also on all podcast platforms. We're also available on YouTube. Wherever you find us, make sure you click that subscribe button, click that share, click that like, leave us a comment. If there is a case that you would like us to cover, put it in the comments, send us a message on social media, and we would definitely look into doing it because we always like getting suggestions for potential shows. So please send those through to us because we absolutely want to hear what you want to hear from us. But guys, thank you very much for another amazing episode. Angel, do you have any closing comments or closing words?
Final words?
Final words, final thoughts.
No, my final thoughts is, man, like I said, it's mysterious, it's awesome, it's a good story. It's a tragedy in itself in regards to the death of the family. But again, I'm a horror fanatic, and Amityville, Long Island will always be known for the Amityville Horror House. I know they have a lot more to offer, but that's just the number one thing on the top of their list that they'll always be known for. So, I mean, that's just my final thoughts.
And Mr. Pause, your final thoughts?
Anything that's like horrific or an incident, you look out there and you're like, man, that's just horrible. You know, hopefully it never happens again. There's always somebody out there that's like, you know what, I can make money off of this. So just remember, everything is a work. They'll take a tragedy and they'll turn it into a profit no matter who they are. So just remember that, everybody. Life is a work.
Life is a work. Couldn't say it better myself. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you back next week for case number 83. Make sure you tune in. Until then, guys, take care, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Peace out.
Peace.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand.